Hello there, this is Three of Spades, and welcome back to another Rogue Planet 2 devlog. In this one, I've gone in and redone an absolute ton of the lighting, so it's going to look a lot better now. It'd probably run about the same, if not better. A friend of mine reached out on Discord and kind of pointed out that I forgot to bake my lights, so that's kind of important. But yeah, as we'll see here, now the interiors are properly well lit with lamps and other cool stuff. There's also a ladder I've added, so there's a sniping position. The trees also do have shadows now. Let me quit out of this here and I'll see if I can show you the game in action. And yes, I also do have a main menu, so that's pretty awesome. So then, here we go. Lighting might look a little darker now, but there we are. So that's pretty cool. Let me go over here. Can't destroy these ones, but now they actually do have proper interior lighting. The dynamic shadows do properly kind of cast onto the ground, and your character can move around. That's also pretty awesome. So in here is also lit up. There's a light. There's a couple of TVs. There's a few sniper rifles right here. The interior to this building now is lit up. If you try camping back here, they're gonna know. It's not exactly easy to see, but you don't exactly have anywhere to run. But yeah, there we are. Pretty awesome. I think the shading on that's a lot better now. But yeah, it does make the map somewhat darker, so shouldn't be too hard to spot people. I'll add brightness and contrast and sharpness and saturation settings in case the game looks too drab or dull or dark or light. And if all else fails, you can always just adjust this shit in your monitor. But yeah, let me go over here. Here we are. So, pretty sweet. Lighting looks way better now. So there was a ladder over by that other house, one of the storage sheds. And as you may or may not be able to kind of see with the fog, my trick is I load the high quality shadows in beyond the, or before the fog, so the fog attempts to kind of hide low resolution or non-existent shadows at a certain distance in order to increase performance. Now it's currently not finished yet. This Sandman guy is going to kick my ass, sorry. Anyway, over here there was also something I found while going through and playtesting this map. You could get on here by jumping on the light, so I figured, you know what, this is a cool position. Why don't I just let you up here normally? So I did. I'm not going to let you up there, though. That'd be way too easy to camp, but yeah, if you get trapped in your spawn, you can jump on top of the pipes and do a little spawn trapping yourself if you feel like. And there's a massive power position, but also you're in the fucking middle of the open, so any motherfucker spawns behind you, over there, wherever, yeah, you're gonna be fucking hitting the dirt. But Shrek's house is, you know, on fire, so that's pretty cool. There's also, you can shoot over the fence. They can shoot you. If they can see you, you can see them, they can see you. And there we go. They just line up and I fucking take them down. Bye-bye. But yeah, you can go on a pretty good killing spree. I've also removed the fences, so you don't get stuck going down the pipes. You actually have the ability to move around. See what I mean about getting shot from everywhere? But yeah. Let me head over to the storage shed, and I'll show you the power position from there. But yeah, there we go. Bunch of trees off in the distance that have shading. I got killed. Alright, no problem. But yeah, trees off in the distance that have shading. I'll probably slightly lower the range on the dynamic shadows, just so the performance runs a little better. I found out like a certain rate you wouldn't be able to notice if the shadows were gone at the mountains, or if you did, it would look just like the sun shining there anyway. So I think I've done that to the Skull Cave, though. I might need to just do it for this map. But anyway, I'm gonna pick up a gun here. I'm gonna walk on top of this this here storage shed, or this I don't know, little sleep bunk room shipping container house. Over there is the storage shed, but that, and then there's that shed. There's just all sheds. But yeah, you can get up here, you can shoot people. Whole area got a big facelift, so that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna go over to let's see, what else was it? Oh yeah, Mount St. Helens. Gave that one a lighting pass too. I'm gonna show that off. And there, just so we avoid any clutter. Come on now, Windows. Rogue Planet 2. Okay, good. It's muted again. So, here we are. Done another lighting pass here on Mount St. Helens. So you can see the shading is now given a lot more depth. I'm also going to show the frame rate for this. In here is a lot darker, so I may need to work on some of the lighting, though. I'm sure I could just add like a hanging light that you can shoot down here or something. That'll just about fix it, but yeah, just so there's not too many dark areas. It's oh fuck, killed by Sandman. As you can see, it's not exactly hard to see in here, though. I'm sure if you hid in the back, you know, people wouldn't be able to see you, thanks to the fog. There's probably a few areas you could cheese and camp in, but no, it's actually pretty easy to make out what that dude looks like. But anyway, I'll probably make it so like the TVs are still turned on or something. Like the power's out, they're in the log cabin in the woods. But yeah, go over here into the shed or the house. This log cabin. Very foggy. Oh fuck. Alright. Excellent. But yeah, as we can see, now there's kind of a proper separation between the ground and the sky. The lighting looks a lot more fucked up, dirty. The fog is a lot denser. You can also go in here. There's shotguns in here. But yeah, I mean, it's, even though it's kind of fucked up and foggy, it is a little, I guess it's easy enough to see, though. I don't know. You let me know if I should add some lights on the ceiling, or maybe some for the TVs or something. I'll figure something out. But yeah, there's new and improved Mount St. Helens. go over to the store, you can see they're out of power too. Also, somehow the professional ended up on the floor. And a headshot right out the gate. That makes Daddy happy. Oh, anyway. So you can see the sky is doing wonders out here. The weather's lovely. World's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, and I never get bored. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. So, there's that one. And I'm going to show you Pompeii, which has had a pretty significant visual upgrade in the time since the last devlog. So this one should be pretty cool. The last time I showed this and Mount St. Helens off, they looked a little bit more flat. Everything was kind of just bright. But now, as you can kind of tell, that's changed. So, here we are. And naturally, the maps that are going to have more shit in them are going to be a little more chaotic on the frame rate, though the fact that it's still getting roughly 80 to 90 frames a second, I am aiming for about 100 if I can, but we still take those for sure. I'll figure out some other optimization stuff. Probably can do more with the textures. Maybe reduce a few objects and other models, but yeah. Here we are here in Pompeii. I've gone and taken the liberty of baking some static lighting. And now the city looks rather hellish. And I'm sure if you do need to adjust your visual settings, you can easily do so. But yeah, this looks a lot more fucked up now. We got the petrified bodies coming out, killing everybody. It's definitely very foggy. I may need to increase the distance at which the fog starts in order to kind of alleviate some of the issues on these maps, or mess around with the lighting some more, but we will see. But yeah, there's now God rays in here. The lightning as well. I don't know if this map needs God rays. I'll probably disable those for performance reasons, because you already got already got like 12 zombies running. And you got me running as well, trying to find somebody to shoot, but I think I love the way they die, so that's helpful. But yeah, the Olive Garden over here, the lighting is pretty good. Look at that shit. Nah, you know what, I gotta fucking optimize these textures because they keep going over budget. Alright, I found the ones that are gonna fucking run and chase me. They come out of the fog and they run away. The petrified, once petrified bodies of Pompeii. Yeah, pretty awesome, right? I knew said Unreal Engine 4 was dead. Come on now. Clearly these people ain't trying hard enough. Like, you know, that and like the Xbox 360. Oh, that shit was antiquated, old, and never did anything new. Okay, so what stopped anybody from doing new shit? Or fucking around with some other cool shit instead? Like, it's a work of fiction. The rules of reality do not apply. Or they otherwise apply as much as you let them. That's the kind of wonderful thing about game development, you realize after a while. But yeah, we got a ton of flowing lava, ashes and fire, lightning, death from above, volcanoes, and all the you know, hell on earth, very, very much like Doom. But yeah, pretty awesome. Probably work on the optimization for some of these a little more. They do run fairly well though, so that's a good sign. But then again, I am running like 2 instances of Unreal Engine, so once I get to a proper test, I'll see how this runs. But I will need to work on more proper settings and other options before I release anything to the public. When I get the multiplayer done in its entirety, I'll probably release a demo, and that'll be about 20 maps, I would say, maybe 15. I might. Because right now, what am I at? Colosseum's still work in progress, but it's the Roman Colosseum. I'm planning on having a big elephant and destroyable pillars in there. Should be awesome. It's like a big circle, or kind of a big arena, like you would expect. And there's a bunch of really weak bricks and stone structures you can just destroy. And there's an elephant who goes around chasing everyone. Then I'll probably also do an underwater Colosseum. But anyway, there's, let's see here. Golf course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, 13 actually, because I do have the zombies map. And if I can get that done too, I'll probably do like a second public stress test. My plan is still subject to change, but you know, that's the lovely nature of plans, is that's not a guarantee. It's just I might be able to do it or I might not, but we'll see. So I'm gonna let Road Planet here load up, and I will be showing you the new and improved radar array, which has had some very significant lighting changes. If you happen to be a fan of Doom 3, I think you will quite enjoy what I've done to the radar array. As you can kind of see now, it's definitely focusing more on the shadows, and since it's at night, I figured it should look a lot darker. But, yeah, massive trees with big shadows being cast on the ground. It might fuck up the performance a bit, but if you do want to just turn off some of the fancier effects, I figure you can just go to medium, and that'll probably do a lot better. It'll look a lot sharper too, but, you know, no system is perfect, especially when you're in the process of optimizing, so this is still kind of work in progress here in Devlog 17, but yeah, done some lighting improvements. I also wanted to use the headlamp guys in more maps than one. I probably do need to make this map a little bit darker, just so the headlamps are more kind of apparent throughout, but I've also added a fire over there, so the Ren Fair is kind of more properly destroyed. It's also a little hard to see it, but yeah, looks way more dark and kind of atmospheric, which is something I think too many Unreal Engine games just don't get right. Like, if you have sort of physics-based lighting or physically based rendering, you know, systems, and you have dynamic lighting, well, why do so many games just refuse to use it? Because the performance might not be good? Okay, well, I mean, that's to be expected, I guess. I mean, if you're not working with Unreal Engine 3 or something, you're bound to have fun issues to solve. Plus, it's not like you're optimizing for an iPhone or something. And even if you are, they do have a mobile mode that would be more optimized for shit like that. But me, I'm going for somewhat fancy graphics that run well using the PC renderer. Yeah, there's a med kit over here. But yeah, cool little work in progress radar array revamp here. It's a lot darker now, but you can still kind of see where people are, so it's something I'll work on. But yeah, there's that. Let me go to Santa Fe? No, wait, I've already shown off Santa Fe. That one's good. Fuck. We do the Skull Cave. So not much changed on this. Like I said, there was a bit of a kind of decrease in the range of the shadows. Like if you go all the way back here, the shadows fade in, but like you would barely notice that. because it's hidden. It's hidden by the trees. So if I turn on game view, you're barely gonna notice any of that changing. Like, see what I mean? You would have to be pretty much right here to see any of that shit in the distance. So that's the kind of trickery I want to do within here to get you a higher frame rate, though it's still work in progress, so it's fun to mess around with. But in here, as you can see, lighting is pretty good. These TVs also have blood on them, and it's also some of the guns in here. No ladders this time, because I don't want you to cheese the zombies. If the zombies are going to chase you, they're going to chase you. Though, I guess that you could still get up here if you knew how, but I might have a special punishment for those who try to cheese the system. Anyway, pretty cool. I'm going to show you some gameplay here. I have also put lights in the truck warehouse there. So if you do try to look in there, because before the lighting was kind of flat. Now in the truck warehouse, there wasn't anything I could really do except use some ambient occlusion to kind of hide the fact that the lighting was flat even after I had baked it. So I decided to just put lights in there, and that kind of hides it. I'll show you what I mean. So I still need to make them invincible and faster, but if I go over to this side of the map, and I'll show you, it'll be pretty cool. If I go over to this side, you can kind of see the lighting isn't exactly the most, you know, in-depth, but you can fuck around with the lights here. You can jump into them as well, and they bounce around. So it's functional, but it's not the most dynamic thing in the world. Though obviously if it's a PvP multiplayer game, you're kind of going to expect that, because the idea is that this can run on a roughly decade-old computer. Like for instance, I'm using computer hardware from 2012 and 2017. So the target would be a fairly older computer, say like a GTX 1060 Ti running this game at like 60 frames on the high settings. And I don't know if that would be like the 3 gig version or the 6 or 7, whatever they had. I forget. It has been 10 years. I think it was like a 6 gigabyte card they had. But it was like, the idea is kind of something like that. You should be able to run this game at least medium settings now. I don't know how that'll translate into the final product, but we'll see. So here's the skull scraper, and the skull scraper has had a few changes. So let me head over here, and I'm going to show you the lighting on it. So the skull scraper, there we go. God rays up there as well. Alright. But yeah, baking lighting is fun. So now there's no longer that issue with the draw distance eventually kind of getting screwed up. Now you can kind of just see that there's shadows across the whole map. There's even bits of reflections here on the stairs. It's almost like the stairway to heaven, huh? But yeah, big texture there. See the light coming in from above. lights are also, interesting. Okay. Seems like the intensity of the spotlights is getting to the roof. Though that is definitely the lovely part of fucking around with lighting in Unreal, is when you get some pretty cool effects. Like, you look up, now you can see that there's a whole ass forest up there. And that's where it's screenshot before I die. So, the shading on the ground here as well has been improved. You can see up there. Helicopter. Trees have shadows as well. Pretty cool Matrix-inspired map. There we are. It's very green. And if you do want to fuck around with this, I'll probably have more settings than just some basic presets here. But as you see, medium just kind of turns off most of the fancy stuff and kind of just makes the game slightly sharper. The idea is the high preset is just, you know, all the fancy stuff, but as you can see, performance does tend to vary, though. If you do want, like, sharpness, I'd probably recommend medium. Medium would probably be, it, you know, removes a lot of the post-processing effects. High is pretty much, this is just the fancy version of the game, the way it's, you know, gonna look if it's running on a high-end computer. And yeah, out there now has proper shading. You can see the buildings now have shadows too. Before they had like a set draw distance limit, but not anymore. So let me head out here. I'm going to go to the skyscraper. And the last map I'll show off is the surreal puzzle, because I actually was able to restore a cut lighting effect from the original Rogue Planet and the third demo, where probably all three of you who played that remember there was, in the poster of Demo 3, a kind of God Ray effect behind Aurora. Now that was something I had intended for the final game, though unfortunately I was unsuccessful in getting that working because Game Guru, when I exported it to a standalone, just decided that you can't have the God Rays in any level past the first one, otherwise it makes this weird, like, spider web effect, I guess. But yeah, here we are. The trees now have shadows across the entire map. As we can see, the lighting now properly kind of lights up everything here. The lights are properly bouncing through the fence and other stuff, so as you can see, performance is a little more variable when there's about, like, I don't know, 20 zombies on screen, so that's going to be a mode that's a bit more hectic. Though that isn't unexpected, so still a work in progress, but it is coming along fairly nicely. I think especially the lighting here was good to go back and mess around with again. As we can see, there's a lot of pretty cool moving lights, and they have their shadows there on the wall. So we'll grab the sniper rifle and do a sick jumping 360. See if I can get a no-scope here before I head over to the surreal puzzle. So I do have to say, a favorite thing of mine to do is grab the sniper and 360 no-scope some bitch who comes this way. No, almost had him. There we go. Got him. But yeah, lighting's a lot more consistent throughout. As you can see, it kind of properly lights up the area here. No more of the kind of weird effects off in the distance, though. I felt like the fog hid that pretty well. So, anyway, let me head over to the surreal puzzle, which should be pretty cool as well. And the best part about all of these maps is that throughout them, you can see how they're all trying to look unique. Because I feel like that's a problem in a lot of online games these days. They don't really care about looking unique, and every map in, say, like Call of Duty, for instance, just really feels the same. Like, I've never... Since I think about Advanced Warfare, pretty much every game, starting with Black Ops 3, hasn't had particularly good maps, and I think it's the same problem that was with Halo 5, and just never went away with that either, where I could never really care about the maps, and that was unfortunate, because I really did like what they had tried to do, but yeah, it just wasn't working out. So anyway, here we are, and the God Rays now from the Rogue Planet are working and present. A lot of zombies here on the map. I might need to just cut that down to about 10 of them, because the performance is going to vary too heavily. Which is what I was thinking. I'd just like have it be, you could have 10 invincible ones and the rest can die. I might end up just doing that. But anyway, yeah, we got God Rays. God Rays that were cut in the first game, now restored here in the second. And now the sequence here looks a little more proper. I might also do the boot camp map from the first game. And for those of you who don't know or don't remember, there was a training section where there were a bunch of dudes holed up in a fort. It was the middle of the night like this, and as training you had to go kill them. And it was revealed that, you know, they're not training dummies, they were actually people. And in the game there was supposed to be like this kind of cameo from Drill Instructor 3 of Spades, who the origin story to the third eye was Marcus hitting 3 of Spades in the head with a flashlight, so I figured that was pretty funny. But yeah, we got all kinds of cool effects and other cool shit. As you can see, it's the Rogue Planet. That's another thing with Rogue Planet. Kind of was a missed opportunity to not have much of the Rogue Planet in Rogue Planet, so definitely expect more Rogue Planets here. That'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, that about does it for this Devlog 17 here. Kind of didn't add too much new, although there were a few things. Some other things still need to be tweaked and worked on, though. I figured I would show off a lot of the improvements to lighting. I'm going to let this guy kill me. Awesome. Thanks for watching.